The Stubby SMG is one of the weirdest guns in Deep Rock Galactic. In this video, I'm going to go over the builds you can run on the Stubby and help you understand the ins and outs of this weapon and the electrocution status effect it applies. Hi guys, my name is Legionless, and this channel is about helping you enjoy your games more. In this video, we're going to go over the second primary weapon for the Engineer class in Deep Rock Galactic, the Stubby SMG. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of how this gun works, the electrocution status effect, and builds to try out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more helpful content, and like the video to help me out. I need to first say that the Stubby SMG is a weird but unique gun. It's weird because it's an SMG that could be amazing, but it's just alright. What makes it unique is it's a weapon that can deal electrocution. Electrocution is a status effect that deals damage over time and makes it difficult to move. If you've seen those sparky blue crystals in missions that zap you when you get too close, that's electrocution. Over a 3-second duration, 36 damage is dealt, or 12 per second, and the target is slowed by 80%. That's why it's so hard for you to get away when you get zapped by those crystals, or by those jellyfish-like bugs that breeder spawn. Oppressors, dreadnoughts when their shell has been broken, younglings, and hoarders all take reduced damage to electrocution. The problem with the Stubby is it just feels significantly worse than most of the other weapons in the game, especially when up against the Warthog for the Engineer. It's a weapon that should be really great and fun to use, but it's just not strong enough for higher level missions. It eats through ammo to kill enemies, leaving you needing to reload often, but it doesn't do great damage against tankier targets, some of which resist its status condition. Here's 3 builds that you can try out depending on your skill. The first is going to be as ammo focused as possible because this thing is just always running low on ammo. In tier 1, go expanded ammo bags for an extra 120 to the max ammo. It sounds like a lot, but it really isn't on this weapon. In tier 2, high capacity magazine adds 10 to the clip so you can kill a little bit more efficiently in between reloads. Going with recoil dampener to make the Stubby easier to fire would also be fine in this tier. In tier 3, we're going expanded ammo bags again. Tier 4, we're going hollow point bullets so the shots you land on weak points do 30% more damage. And then in tier 5, we're going with magazine capacity tweak for plus 20 clip size. This gives you 420 base ammo plus 240 ammo for a total of 660, and the magazine size goes from 30 to 50 or 60 depending on which you chose in tier 2. This build is more of a jack of all trades but master of none. You'll have a bunch of ammo, but the weapon won't be anything special. You'll be less dependent on resupply pods, but fairly average at crowd control and single target damage. Build 2 is all about pure, raw damage and making the more limited amount of ammo you have count by efficiently killing bugs with well-placed weak point shots. In tier 1, we go increased caliber rounds, which adds 2 damage to each shot. Tier 2, we go with recoil dampener to make it easier to land weak point damage. Tier 3, we go with high velocity rounds, which adds another plus 2 to damage. In tier 4, hollow point bullets gives us a 30% buff to the weak point damage we do. In tier 5, we go with magazine capacity tweak for plus 20 clip size. The base damage for each bullet will be 13, and the magazine will hold 50 shots. One magazine will do 845 damage to Praetorians and Oppressors with their ×1 weak point multiplier, and a 30% buff hollow point bullets gives. Praetorians have 750 health, and Oppressors have 900 health. One magazine will do about 1500 out of 4500 damage to a dreadnought when its shell has been broken, and all shots land on its ×2 weak point. These damage values are for average difficulty levels with perfect aim, without taking into consideration the change in enemy health and resistances in higher difficulties. It's just to illustrate the potential damage you can do with this build compared to its base bullet damage of 9, magazine size of 30, and 270 damage per magazine clip to oppressors and dreadnoughts. For the third and final build, we're going to really lead into the electrocution status effect as much as possible. This is definitely more of a crowd control build as it will focus on applying the electrocution status effect to as many enemies as possible. In tier 1, we go with upgraded capacitors for a better chance to electrocute a target. In tier 2, either high capacity magazine or recoil dampener, your choice. In tier 3, we're going to go expanded ammo bags because of the Stubby's ammo issue. In tier 4, conductive bullets lets us do a very nice 30% damage against any electrocuted enemy. Remember, oppressors and dreadnoughts cannot get the electrocution status effect. And in tier 5, electric arc lets the electrocution status have a chance to change from one target to another. It should be clear though what electric arc really means when it says plus 25% electrocution area effect percentage. Each bullet fired has a chance to proc the lightning chain effect. Electrocution status effect will be applied to every target hit within that chain. The chain arc effect can only be activated if the target you shoot already has the electrocution status active, so the default electrocution chance is 20%, but with upgraded capacitors, each bullet has a 50% chance to electrocute. Then, the enemy has a 25% chance to apply the electrocution status effect to an enemy nearby. Basically, this build is going to let us apply electrocution to as many enemies as possible with as little bullets as possible. This build is a really good support build for the team. The slowed movement speed will make enemies easier to drop for the driller and gunner, and the electrocution status effect in general could be taken advantage of by the scout, who has some options to do more damage against electrocuted enemies. This gun really starts to shine when you start dabbling into the electrocution build options, but the strength of electrocution and the mod options for the gun just aren't enough. Allowing at least partial electrocution effects to oppressors and dreadnoughts, and more initial arc chaining damage would be some really good changes to the weapon that would let it still keep its uniqueness against boss fights, as well as be a little bit more effective at crowd control. When it really counts though, and when you really need to quickly gun down enemies that have gotten too close to you, you'll find that the Stubby just isn't going to save you. The gun requires very precise aim that you need to burst fire to keep some sort of recoil consistency to gun down enemies, which slows down the damage per second you can output. When a large number of enemies get too close, you'll miss the Warthog shotgun that just feels so reliable, or you'll pull the panic button and use the breach cutter to shoot out a horizontal laser against everything in your face to save you. In a future video, I'll go over my build for the breach cutter that I love for crowd control and to pair with the Stubby. So make sure to subscribe to the channel and share this video with others that need some help with their Stubby SMG builds. Thanks for watching.